episode 54 of the Bomb horror movie review show. I know what you watched last week. Now I'm going to give some little secrets here. I've just had to jog wifey's memory as to what we watched last week because you didn't have a Scooby.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit ironic that the show is titled I Know What You Watched Last Week because I had zero recollection. Clearly, my party lifestyle doesn't agree with me because I had no idea.
It's a good thing one of us was paying attention. So, what did we watch?
We started with Shocker, which I'm really glad that we didn't capture your explanation. It was pure filth.
Wes Craven's Shocker.
Then...
That's not going to mean anything now.
Yeah, I know, but that's fine.
Yeah,
no one has to see it.
Let's go. Wes Craven's Shocker.
Do you see how rude he is?
Because I have to remind you.
God. Then we saw a pile of garbage entitled Apparition.
And there are quite a lot of movies titled Apparition or The Apparition. This one is from 2012 and stars who's your favourite from that Wand movie?
It's not. Draco Malfoy is the character from Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
But the actor is called Tom Felton.
And he stars in The Apparition. And we finished off our viewing pleasure with
Fright.
Fright from 1971, a British horror movie. This was going to be, because we started off with Wes Craven's Shocker. It was going to be a Wes Craven special of 3 movies I hadn't seen yet. But then I realised, I've got a 30-day free subscription of this streaming service running out tonight. So instead, I just scrapped that and just went all from that streaming so I could watch a couple of other movies. And one of them worth it, one of them not so much. So what are your rankings?
Well, I mean, third place...
If you even remember the movies.
Is clear. Well, now that you've jogged my memory enough. Third place definitely goes to Apparition. No question. And second place...
Even with your Harry Potter favourite in there.
Yeah, it's incredible how he actually became a worse actor as he got older. It's normally the other way around.
Are you saying he's phoning it in? Or is this just...
I'm saying maybe
his
the platinum blonde slick back helped him when he was a kid. I don't know. He should have kept it. Then I'm going to put Fright in second place, which means that Wes Craven scoops the gold.
I also have Apparition bottom. For ages, I had Shocker as number 1, but I've demoted it to number 2. And the winner for me is Fright from 1971. So let's get on with both our bottom picks. Apparition.
God, this movie was so bad. This was a painful one. It deals, let's say, with some paranormal investigation kind of gone wrong. Would that be a very short summary?
Yeah, paranormal investigation gone wrong, and then a couple staying at the girl's parents' house start having little hauntings. So yeah, this is...
Little hauntings.
This opens on a table tipping scene in a laboratory with said...
Tom Felton.
And he's with 2 other people, and they're doing...
And he's not trying to do an American accent.
They're trying to communicate with the dead, it seems. And all of a sudden, someone, catch the shat. So they're in... What's his name again? Not Tom Felton. What's his real name? His Harry Potter name.
Draco Malfoy.
Draco Malfoy is in a laboratory with someone called Lydia and someone called Greg. And I believe behind the camera filming all this, I'd assume, is Sebastian Stan's character, Ben. Because, later on he gets contacted. And they're doing this table tipping thing. They're trying to communicate with the dead. It works a little bit too well. And a character called Lydia, she gets sucked into the wall. Are you struggling with the aftermath of the cat poopies?
The cat poopies and this movie are just as bad as each other. So I guess in a way it kind of works. But my goodness. We also obviously close all the windows to keep sound from drifting in too much.
And it's hot.
It's not
hot.
A great situation we've got here.
Yeah. So once she gets sucked into the wall, Do you remember there was this figurine that also exploded on the table? So a figurine explodes, she sucks into the wall, darkness, and Tom Felton, what the hell is that? Then we fast forward into present day, and we've got our two characters, Kelly and Ben. I believe that Kelly, the actress, Ashley Greene, has been in a bunch of Twilight movies.
Really?
The guy, Sebastian Stan, who's playing Ben, has been in a bunch of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies.
Really?
So between the three of them, you've covered Twilight, the Marvel Universe, and Harry Potter.
Dear Lord. Okay.
Couldn't get any better than that, can it? And it begins with our two characters, Kelly and Ben. They're sitting outside. She's like a wannabe vet. She's in veterinary school, so she's working at a vet, and she decides that she's going to go to lunch with her boyfriend. But instead of having lunch outside and just eating, they get into a mini playful argument, and she just throws all of her food at him. What a waste! What a waste! Yeah, I was actually surprised that you weren't screwing up your face and like huffing and puffing while we were watching.
Was I not?
No, you didn't have much of a reaction to it.
I hate food fights.
I was dying inside because
What a waste of food.
Kelly's just throwing chicken nuggets, chips, whatever else
Nachos.
she can at Ben. So he's already, you could these days you could call that kind of spousal abuse. My missus is throwing food at me while I'm just trying to take her out for a nice meal. Then they get home. They're playing Street Fighter. Of course, Kelly smashes Ben at Street Fighter. Because why wouldn't she? She then tells him to go and clean up the kitchen. And while he's doing that, he popped himself a beer. She nicks his beer. So she's thrown food at him, beating him at Street Fighter, told him to go and clean up and stolen his beer. This is quite an emasculating start for old Ben.
You wouldn't have batted an eyelid though if it was the other way around, would you?
Well,
like...
the food throwing, yeah. But I've never.
Don't you dare ever throw food at me,
I think I'm
John.
undefeated against ladies at Street Fighter. It's definitely you.
I think the decades of our birth might have something to do with that as well. But
then after this riveting beginning, they fall asleep on the couch, and when they awaken, the door is open. So we then get the first of what happens to be a lot of scenes of Ben and Kelly just walking around the house in the dark. Just a lot of that. Just
it's so boring.
Walk around the house in the dark.
I think also, do you think there was a reason why? Because we're shown that Ben and Kelly are living in Kelly's parents' retirement property or investment property or something, keeping it
surrounded by a bunch of phone
safe.
masts.
And it's clearly in a completely new built little town. And there's
enclave.
They make it very clear that there's like only one or two other houses that are actually occupied. So do you think there was a reason for that? Maybe just to show that the spirit's attached to them rather than, there's old property.
I would assume just because it tries to give a sense of isolation, but it didn't do that very well.
No, the property's also very nice.
It didn't do it at all. Yeah, the property's okay. I mean, outside is terrible with all those phone masts, but the inside, not bad. So we had the door open. Next morning, they're walking around in the daylight. One's in the bathroom. Ben's in the bathroom. Kelly's walking about. And all of a sudden, the chest of drawers moves. So that's the first scary thing that happens. Then we notice
there was some stellar acting there as well from her.
Sooty black stuff down next to a chest of drawers, which have just moved. We've also been introduced to Pepper the dog.
A neighbour's dog.
Pepper's here. And Ben notices some crap underneath the lino flooring. Yeah, you're not remembering this, are you?
Yeah, no, I do now.
So they go outside and they start crawling underneath the house, or at least Ben does. He's probably been told by Kelly, you get under there, you crawl around. I want a Street Fighter. I'm going to take your beer. If you don't do as I say, I'm going to throw this jacket potato at you. So he goes underneath and he finds more on the foundations.
Disgusting stuff.
Yeah, disgusting stuff like
really
sooty
gross.
black mold, something like this.
Yeah.
So he notices some crap underneath and finds more of it. But lo and behold, they go to get this checked out, but no one can come and check this out for a whole week. The sooty black stuff repair guy is in over his head.
Who you gonna call?
You can't get him. Sooty black repair guy. So no one can come and check it for a week. Also, later on, Ben goes inside. He starts watching this video. Ben watches a video from Draco Malfoy, while she showers. So Kelly's in the shower and he's watching a video.
Yeah,
and it's Malfoy who's like, is happening again.
He's got like his secret stash of ghost
Porn.
hunting. Ghost hunting equipment.
You hear secret stash, you naturally go to porn.
Is that a fact, really? Okay, that's something new I've learnt today. So he's got all his like ghost hunting equipment in one of those like really sturdy cases and everything, and he takes it out from its hiding spot because he obviously doesn't want his girlfriend to know about it. And yeah, he's like looking through some footage of Malfoy, and Malfoy's also not been seen since the opening, but we can tell that he's trying to get in contact with Ben.
Malfoy lets Ben know that something from their experiment is at large. It's the sooty black mouldy stuff, which this film isn't derivative at all. I haven't seen a movie with kind of black mouldy stuff on the wall and a girl with long black hair crawling out of an electrical appliance and things like this. So something from the experiment has gone wrong. She finds out, so Kelly finds out about this. No, sorry, doesn't find out about it just yet. Something else is going wrong in the house. Like lights are going off again or something like that.
Yeah.
So she decides, like, there is absolutely no way. There's no way I can stay in this house. No chance I can stay in this house. So to get away as far as possible, they pitch a tent in the backyard.
I know. It's so silly.
Because that'll help.
By this point as well, they've put up like security cameras around the property. And she's an avid gardener. She's been doing the place up, but now they're in this camping tent in their back garden, as you said. And she also, again, has him by the bollocks because she says to him, I'm, by the cojones, I'm going to sleep. You'd better sit there and guard me all night long. Promise you stay awake?
Because I'm having a tent sleep out.
Yeah. And he hears something.
I'm going to throw this lettuce head at you.
And he hears some noise and he goes off to investigate, leaving her alone. And what do we see? We see one of the security cameras detach from the outside of the house and kind of like stalkily go up right towards her.
Yeah, after he hears something, he notices that all the CCTV has been disconnected.
Yeah, and like crushed up and destroyed.
So after that chilling scene... We're now into the next day, and he's in the kitchen. Ben's in the kitchen. He notices there is now a giant mouldy CGI growth in the corner. So he grabs the kind of stick, and as you do, just starts poking it.
Don't you know what something is? You poke it with a stick.
He pokes it from this angle, that camera angle, slightly outside the room looking in.
Lots of poking.
Just lots of poking at this CGI.
And it starts crumbling, doesn't it?
It does
crumbles
crumble
down.
And I mentioned at the beginning of this, during the table tipping scene with Draco Malfoy, this figurine exploded. Mm-hmm. So when he finally gets the CGI growth off of the wall, spills on the floor, and what comes out of it? The figurine.
It's been sort of mashed back together.
Is the figurine the thing that the entity has attached itself to? Because otherwise, I can't see any significance at the exploding figurine at the beginning and then the
it
finding
was very
of it
bizarre.
Again. So
it doesn't really go anywhere beyond that. It's just
also I should mention Pepper the dog has now also Pepper the dog has passed away under pretty unsensational
Pepper the dog came from the neighbour's house into their house.
Yeah,
was staring at some spot in one of the rooms.
He's like, look, there's a bunch of mold in the house.
Yeah,
you idiots.
Check that out.
So then the Kelly then goes to the neighbour's house. And she asks if they have any mould in the house. Turns out they don't have any mould, but then their little kid... She also brings them, because she's a vet, she brings them a new dog. That'll make everything better. And then the little kid, before she leaves, goes up onto her car door and is like, your house killed my dog.
I think that was supposed to be one of those like classic one-liner things that sends chills down your spine, but it was just so shit.
Yeah,
it was not done well.
Rewind slightly, so when they're having the backyard camp out in the tent,
were you jealous?
He or she, not really, utters the immortal words, "Our house can't be haunted. It's too new." Well, if you had bothered to watch, Ghost Adventures or something like that, you'll know that just having a new property doesn't protect you from being haunted.
Do you know the history of the grounds you built it on? Could the attachment be attached to you, not the property? There's, an object you brought into the house. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
Once Kelly's now given away his new dog to this family, who, by the way, the family then play absolutely no part in the movie after this.
No, the
so
whole
more
thing was
more
pretty
pointless stuff. Kelly then goes back home and she starts snooping. She goes through Ben's computer and she sees all the messages or something like this that Draco Malfoy has sent him, and she sees, I believe, possibly footage of what happened.
She sees the original footage of Ben's girlfriend of the time
Someone
being sucked into a wall.
Yeah, Lydia being sucked into a wall. So, of course, she freaks out and says to Sebastian Stan, "You better get the hell out of this house because I'm not having this."
She's really pissed off, yeah.
I struggle to understand why she was pissed off.
No, I definitely think it was a strange reaction. I mean, first of all, I thought maybe she was jealous that he had a girlfriend before they met, which is just ridiculous. And then I was like, well, she's saying that you didn't like tell me, or you kept it from me or whatever. But, you know, in what world would you just think that was something worth mentioning? Oh, by the way, my ex got sucked into a wall by an entity.
Yeah, so I hope you're cool with that. And also, she's already claimed to be deadly scared of this house now, so much so that she's just sitting 5 feet outside the house in a tent. So if she's so scared, why is she chucking her, her manly protector? I guess maybe he's not much of a protector because, she's stealing his beer, throwing, French fries at him.
Didn't even watch over her while she was sleeping.
Beating him at Street Fighter. So now he's chucked out the house. Almost. Because
that's what everyone thinks. If I'm terrified, I want to be alone and terrified. That's much better.
But unfortunately for her, she doesn't really get the chance to chuck poor Ben out of the house because the lights go off again. And she can't handle that. She breaks down, starts crying, hugs Ben. And previously, Ben has promised Kelly that if anything goes wrong again, I will take you to a motel. So now it's motel time.
Bring up the fact, another really strange thing is Ben this whole time. You can see, like, his phone will be ringing and he'll look down and it's Draco Malfoy.
He has one contact.
He's trying to get hold of him and he keeps just being like, nah, decline. I'm like, why will you not speak to him?
Well, because the last time we hung around with him, someone got sucked into a wall, so kind of want to stay away from people like that.
There was one point when Ben then tries to call Draco and Draco doesn't answer, and I thought Draco's got.
Maybe Ben thinks that he's cooler than Malfoy because he's in the MCU and you're just in the Harry Potter U. Is that thing what's cooler out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Harry Potter Cinematic Universe?
It depends who you ask.
If we'd asked you, you're definitely saying Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. Her hotel time, as I was saying. They get into the hotel. Ben says to Kelly, "We're safe now. We're safe. Let's just go to sleep." They're not. She's not really giving him that much because she's like, right. I know that I decided to run into your arms after another slight haunting just as I was about to chuck you out the house. But because I didn't get the chance to do that, now we're in the hotel, which you just paid for.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared you are going to sleep on the hotel couch and I'm going to take the bed. So take that.
To be fair, that wouldn't be punishment for you because you love sleeping on the couch. So
I do love sleeping on the couch. Well, I'm not sure if I want to sleep on that couch, especially, and there was no like TV set up, stuff like this. There's not kind of enough stuff there to make me feel comfortable for a sofa sleeping. But he does obey and goes to bed on the sofa. But he's not asleep on the sofa. He's asleep on the ceiling. He's on the ceiling, looking down at himself, sleeping. Well, where have I seen this before? Yeah, I think it might be another Paranormal Activity, some kind of movie like that. And while he's up there, looking at himself, sleeping on the sofa, which he's been banished to by his food-throwing girlfriend, she's in the sheets, but all of a sudden, the sheets start wrapping around her face and suffocating her. Did that scare you? Luckily, he gets down off the ceiling, and he is a bit useless. He can't seem to pull the sheets. They're just sheets. Just pull them off her face. But he can't do that until the last second. Obviously, he does. Now she's freaked out again, so he's kind of out of the doghouse for another few seconds, I guess.
Well, of all the things that have happened, that is the freakiest occurrence. If you were suddenly like wrapped up in your sheets being suffocated, that's pretty scarier than having like a door slammed. Or
so
something.
we are now, because so much has happened, so much great stuff has happened in this movie. We're now 2/3 of the way through the film. So, but you've all been waiting for, especially Karen. Enter Malfoy. He enters.
Drake goes back.
And he
Back in the movie
scene steals. Yeah?
Does he?
I think he does. Enter Malfoy. He decides to tell them on a hill surrounded by foam masks that the house isn't haunted. It's you. I've not heard that before, that the house isn't haunted. You're haunted. And I know this film was 2012, but it was still derivative and old hat in 2012.
And he also tells them that he's built himself some kind of
chamber.
I was going to say cage, but chamber with some kind of
not
electromagnetic...
like a dark, dank, like medieval chamber. We're talking like a high-tech laboratory
thing
chamber
that apparently can keep out this spirit, which is the spirit that they summoned.
Well, I can tell you how all this works, because Malfoy has just turned up. He's going to fix it all for them. And the movie has been leading up to this. We now find out that EEG transmissions will destroy whatever is going on. So you've got to go into the house, and the plan is open the fridge, open the microwave, open the dishwasher, open any keep the toaster on its side or something like that, so it's easier to get stuff in there. Anything that's electric, open it up, and then you need to amplify and transmit EG in reverse. Then turn the lock. Simple.
Yeah.
And the problems will be over, and Sebastian Stan can go back to not sleeping on the sofa, paying for his missus' food and having it thrown in his face, and having his beer stolen from him. So once that is then suggested, they bug the house. They go into the house, they bug it all up. Mm-hmm. Because, Malfoy, the brainiac scientist Malfoy, is there now. And once the house is bugged, we get CGI ring girl out of washing machine. Because this is one of the drawbacks of leaving the electrical appliances open. Is that...
don't know what's going to come out of them.
Exactly, you don't know what's going to come out of them. And... where have I seen kind of like wet, long, black-haired, sopping girls crawling out of electrical appliances before? Not sure. But that happens.
Wait, Kelly is the girl, right? Yeah.
Kelly is the girl.
Kelly gets locked into that room with her. And was this the bit as well? I didn't understand what they were doing here. So
well, I just said it's EEG
but they started,
transmissions.
No, that's not the thing
and
I'm
transmit
talking about.
it in reverse, then turn the lock.
If you let me continue, what I'm trying to say I didn't understand was that they were like hammering nails into the door frame.
And that's what you do, isn't it? It's like to show, here we are trying to keep ourselves locked in or keep something out. Let's just bang. But
then also, how did she get herself locked on the wrong side of the door?
She wasn't very bright, was she?
It was very...
all of the characters in this are just absolutely terribly written, apart from Malfoy. So yeah, we've now got the washing machine, and Kelly's been stuck in the washing machine girl. They get her out, right?
Yeah, they do. They smash the door down.
They get her out, smash the door down, and now luckily the EEG transmitters, they are linking and initiating reverse playback. So we're gonna be good. The linking process completes. Fingers crossed. Yes, it's worked. Now we get some CGI house cracks. But that's all it can do. The EEG reversal transmission locks have worked.
I don't think that is all it does. Because is this not the point then when it kind of like messes the whole house up? So you've got a couch halfway through the banister of the stairs, and also like the house is kind of just...
The house is a mess.
Beyond,
an absolute mess.
Beyond a mess.
So the EEG transmission reverse lock may have worked, but the house is an absolute tip. So next day... everyone's packing up the EEG transmitters because we don't need them anymore.
Not everyone.
We don't need them anymore.
Kelly and Ben are doing all the hard work.
Malfoy's relaxing having a beer.
Malfoy's just having a beer. Yeah, he's like, job well done.
But he gets punished for that because now he's getting sucked into a broom closet.
Yeah.
There he goes. And he was quite terrified. Did you like his acting there when he was getting sucked in? But you better remember it, do you? So he gets sucked into a closet/wall. That's what I told you. That's why, maybe, like I told you, this is why Ben/Sebastian Stan doesn't want to take Malfoy's calls, because every time he hangs around with him, someone's getting sucked into walls. So now we go back. They found out that Malfoy, like you said, has been living in this chamber.
Yeah.
So the girl decides...
Well, they come in and find out that Malfoy's been taken, so obviously the thing didn't work. So they're like, well, how can we be safe?
You know, if the EEG transmitters aren't going to work and people are still getting sucked into the wall, what can we do? Kelly decides they need to move into the chamber. So they get into the truck and they drive to Malfoy's laboratory. And while they get in there, don't worry, Malfoy might be in the walls and gone in the movie, technically dead. But, or at least in the netherworld. But we do now get a voiceover of Malfoy talking pure science.
Yeah, also the way they built Malfoy's character up and... you know, all the equipment that they used thus far, when they finally get to his laboratory and they find his safety cage
with a single person's fold-out bed.
It was sad. It looked so sad. And also, it was like sparking and stuff. I was like, what the hell kind of little thing is this? And why didn't he just make it bigger to like encompass the whole room or even the whole house? It was dumb as shit.
How long was he supposed to have been living in that box? 2 years, maybe? A year?
He's just been in this little box thing. So then also it begs the
how
question,
does he even get food and stuff?
Every time he goes out to get like food or take a piss or something, he's vulnerable.
Maybe he's just been whizzing on the floor and maybe he had like kind of like space food in there, you know, like...
No, that was so dumb. And then the next dumb thing happens
maybe
straight
Kelly
away.
came outside and just like throwing food over the wall to him.
Kelly's useless, by the way. All she keeps doing is like, so what are we going to do now? Just live in this box for the rest of our lives?
I swear it was her idea.
And the two of them are in there for only like a split second. All of a sudden, Kelly turns around Ben's gone. So again, this box, apart from sparking and looking like a
futuristic
5-year-old put it together, doesn't seem to even work.
Malfoy put it together. He's a genius. Like you say, they were only in this room for like a split second before Ben goes missing, because, you know, even the director's like, my God, can we just get the hell off of this movie? And Kelly finds Ben, and we know he's ended for him, because she finds him in like a broom closet, and he's got a big mouth. with black stuff coming out of it. So we know that he's brown bread. Yeah, finds him with a big boy. Then we get more of a Malfoy voiceover again, as she seems to go to Costco, which has already had a product placement earlier on in the movie when she's throwing food at Ben at the beginning. She's now in Costco. It looks like she's just shopping for a tent because, as we've already said, she loves tents.
Such a weird ending.
She loves tents. So she goes into the tent section of Costco and decides that I'm not just going to live in this stupid box for the rest of my life. If I'm going to be haunted, I might as well just die.
I'm going to live in a tent in Costco.
So I'm going to live in a tent in Costco, but her dream life only takes hold for about 5 seconds before all these fingers come from behind her face, and then it ends.
Yeah.
Some pretty great stuff.
There was no consistency. There was no good acting. There was nothing new, and it was boring.
And it cost $17 million. I
think I found that out afterwards, didn't I? And I still can't believe it.
Well, you think about the movie and you think the cast aren't getting paid very much.
Well, even though they're coming from these amazing universes.
Yeah, but it's also pre these amazing universes for Sebastian Stan. And has Malfoy done much apart from Harry Potter? And the girl, I think, would have been 2012. We're still in a Twilight phenomenon in 2012. I don't know. I don't remember. But either way, they're not going to be paid very much money. Not like $1 million each even, something like that.
I would have thought that was around the heyday of Twilight.
Most of the action takes place in one place, the house. Mm-hmm. So you've got one location for the most part, apart from the box place. So yeah, where's the money gone? Where's the money gone in this? So it wasn't like a monster. Well, there were several monsters actually, like black mold monster, sooty floor, girl coming out of washing machine, a la The Ring.
Yeah, it's really baffling to think where the money went.
So this movie, Apparition, it has nothing. It's bland, derivative, unimaginative, and just quite sleep-inducing, really.
There's like just different words for what I just described it as.
No rewatch value whatsoever. No nothing. There is a part, as I mentioned, they walk around the house a lot in the dark. Ooh. And there is one part where they get Kelly walking around in her underwear, and there's a little bit of like butt cheeks, but you've got to... When your movie is so bad, it's going to take more than a bit of butt cheek to redeem it.
So I think we should move on.
So there's no butt cheek redemption.
I'm sick of this. Sick of this film.
Pay good money for that.
So we had different second and first place.
Let's go with my second place, your first place. Wes Craven's Shocker. First time I've seen this. Weird.
Yeah.
What a strange film this was.
Very Wes Craven-y, though.
In the sense that it's kind of, it has some things which are akin to A Nightmare on Elm Street, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, apart from that, though, what we've got here is... Wes Craven's Shocker, starring Mitch Pileggi and Peter Berg, who went on to go and direct Hitchcock. Yeah, you would have seen him in one episode for a split second in Entourage when Ari's trying to replace Stellan Skarsgård as the director, and he pretends to get on the phone. He's like, no, I told you I cannot do it. That's Peter Berg, the guy that was the lead in this. And we have an 80s metal opening. Yeah? Lots of 80s metal. We also have a very Nightmare on Elm Street type opening, in terms of the way that the beginning of Nightmare on Elm Street, when we see the footage of Freddy making his glove, they do the same kind of thing here with like kind of electrical cables and things like that. Yeah, so that was all that. And also, as well as, you know, Wes Craven, Mitch Pileggi, Peter Berg, we have, and you'll know who I'm talking about, I've just run over there, Desmond Child, the one and only Desmond Child, supervising the music. Now, who's Desmond Child, you may ask? Desmond Child wrote, along with Bon Jovi, you know, Living on a Prayer, You'll Have a Bad Name. He's worked with Aerosmith, Rat, Bon Jovi, Kiss, Hall & Oates, INXS, Sebastian Bach, and of course, Ricky Martin. Desmond Child happened to write Livin' La Vida Loca and She Bangs, She Bangs. Yeah. So pretty good stuff there. Have you seen the video? That's what he does. She bangs, she bangs.
I don't think that's visible on camera, but...
They should lower the camera. Yeah.
For some frosting.
This is also produced by Marianne Maddalena, who went on to... She's produced loads of Wes Craven's movies, but it seemed like around now the partnership was taking hold, and she wanted to do all the Scream movies, all the good stuff like that. So a good team. And it opens quite like The Faculty on a school American football field.
Yeah, with a weirdly comedic... You loved this scene.
I did. So
the guy is, you know, clearly...
Jonathan, Peter Berg.
A pretty good player, and he's out there on the field doing his thing. And then a chick, you know, walks up along the sidelines to watch.
Yeah, Alison.
And he is completely thrown off his game, just constantly looking at her and
running into goalposts.
Yeah,
running into the water bottle. And the way it was shot. I mean, I'm a simple man. Seeing people run into goalposts and stuff like that does crack me up. But the way it was done was so comedically expert that I started to think to myself, Wes Craven is Mrs. Calling and should have been directing American Pie movies.
Yeah,
I was laughing so hard.
Because you've seen that kind of thing 100 times, but normally it's just not done that.
It's not executed well.
Whereas this one, it was genuinely funny. So I think as well, I wasn't expecting it because, as you said, like it's not really a common thing of his to do slapstick style comedy in his movies.
Well, that's why it was going to be the Wes Craven special with 3 that I hadn't seen. And starting with this one, yeah, he's certainly Mrs. Calling. And did it remind you of The Faculty? You know, the beginning.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so you can see I reckon it's definitely taken from that. There's also a bit where Peter Berg, Jonathan, has run into the water bottle. He's then picked up by the object of his affection, Alison, and she starts talking about how they haven't slept together. Yeah, and he's like, "No, of course not. I want you to respect me as a person first." And that really cracked me up as well. Yeah, Peter Berg was really good in this, I thought.
Yeah,
as Jonathan, and so I was already kind of half expecting a slight tongue-in-cheek movie just from the poster. But after this ultra comedic opening, and then when it goes later on to deal with more serious stuff, I felt like the tone was
Yeah, it was a bit strange.
It didn't meld together well.
As you
for me.
say, like that opening to me was like, you know, just setting you up for a classic, easy comedy, and then yeah, we got what we got.
Yeah, so after this opening, we are then introduced. No, sorry. While he's hit his head on the goalpost, Peter Berg / Jonathan. Jonathan has a psychic vision of a killer, Horace Pinker, murdering family. So yeah, so now that he's hit his head, he's now psychic, and no explanation needed apart from that. He's hit his head on the football field. Psychic visions will now be coming, and he's also been. His family have previously been slaughtered, so he's been adopted by the one and only Lieutenant Don. So he goes and tells his stepfather, Lieutenant Don, that he's had this psychic vision because there's a killer on the loose in the movie already. His stepfather doesn't believe him. Lieutenant Don's having none of it. He's too long in the tooth and the force to believe this kind of hogwash. But Jonathan convinces him, let's just go to this place where I've had a premonition where there's going to be another murder. And if it doesn't turn out to be what it is, then, you don't have to listen to me anymore.
Yeah, he essentially proves that he knows details about the murder that you wouldn't know unless you'd been there. So, yeah, his fake dad is like, ooh. Something's going on here.
But unfortunately, Lieutenant Don, his family are now offed by Horace Pinker at night in the street. So now we're just left with Lieutenant Don and his adopted son, Jonathan. So they go to Horace Pinker's garage. While they're there, pretty much all of his cop team gets offed. Right, you remember that? No. Well, Peter Berg, Jonathan, and Lieutenant Don. They go to Horace Pinker's kind of like warehouse where he has his electrical or van business. Whatever.
He installed TVs as a living.
That's it. He installed TVs. That's what
it was.
It would make more sense because shocker.
Yeah, and also when he was committing Don's family murder thing, we also had Jonathan again kind of seeing the vision of it, but this time Pinker actually like notices him. So it's a bit of a weird one because even though we know that Jonathan isn't physically there and he's seeing it, it's not just a vision because Pinker is actually seeing him as well.
This is why it's like slightly in a way Nightmare on Elm Street, because instead of it being a dream that he's being seen in with the killer, it's a psychic vision that he can communicate with him.
He's got a link, and also Pinker seems to, have an attachment to Jonathan as well.
So once they've chased Pinker through his little garage, they end up like on a roof, because I should also mention that very quickly in the movie, Alison, the object of Jonathan's affection, has also been killed. A lot of people get killed very quickly.
Right, yeah.
So Alison's also gone. So this is why, especially now, Jonathan wants to catch Pinker. So they end up on like rooftops, jumping over rooftops and things like this. It gets very actiony now. We had the comedy, we've had some horror. Now we've got some action.
It's got everything.
Peter Berg and Mitch Pileggi jumping over roofs and stuff. And finally, Jonathan gets hold of Pinker and he's arrested. We now go into the electric chair scenes.
Yeah.
Do you recall this?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Because when it's introduced, the camera's going all over the electric chair to metal. More metal. And in particular, No More Mr. Nice Guy, an Alice Cooper song at this point, though, being covered by the one and only Megadeth. So there's some metal information for you there.
Yeah, and both Jonathan and his dad, Don, have obviously gone to sit in the, witness...
Well, they're front row for the frying, basically. Yeah. They're front row for the frying. But before he's been brought in, Horace Pinker, he's in a cell by himself. And he decides to kind of, conjure up Satan or somebody. And he gets 2 electric cables and he asks for supernatural powers of electricity, which are then granted to him by a television pair of lips. A pair of lips coming out of a television. And while he's been asking for these powers, these lips tell him, "You got it, baby!" And then he gets electrocuted.
He's so weird.
Horace Pinker manages to break out of his cell, and as he's being kind of like chased through the hallways, a couple of cops get him, and unfortunately get too close to his face, and one of them gets his lips bitten off by Horace, and the other one gets his fingers bitten off by Horace.
But they do get him in the electric chair, don't they?
Yeah, after this.
Right, yeah.
But you had to get the "You got it, baby." The TV talking to him once again. The tone. What? This, again, I know it's gonna be tongue in cheek, but this is just flat out weird.
Yeah, it's bizarre, but they get him, in the chair, and now they're extra pissed off because he was already supposed to be, offed, but he's now taken down a couple of their comrades.
And he has power now.
And yeah, he seems pretty relaxed, pretty chill being in that chair.
While he's relaxed in the electric chair, first of all, it goes wrong.
Yeah.
So it doesn't quite kill him. And there's a female... I've written there's a doctor woman, and she thinks it's barbaric that he's being put to death. This guy who's killed families, young children, just bitten someone's lips and fingers off. And I'm glad that she was attacked not long after this. I think it was showing that this woman's an idiot. My belief is, as the filmmaker or as the writer, Wes Craven was both, that if you do this, then there's no problem with putting you to death. I think.
Just desserts, some might say.
So as it's gone wrong now, he's electrocuted again, and this time it seems like he has died.
Yeah.
Now this doctor woman, she gets into a car, she's being driven away, but she kills the two cops in the car because it turns out she is being possessed by Horace. Horace can now jump from body to body anytime he likes.
Yes.
Now we have another Nightmare on Elm Street moment. Alison, the object of Jonathan's affection at the beginning, has passed away, and Jonathan comes home after the electric chair business, and the room is all, lit very pale blue. And she comes out as like a ghostly apparition, starts talking to Jonathan about what he needs to do to overcome the problems he's going to face with Horace Pinker.
And he'd also, before she died, he'd given her a necklace, a special necklace, and she, during this vision of herself,
so special that the necklace
gives it to him and says basically, this will help you to defeat Pinker.
She kind of makes it known that if you had this necklace, it works almost like a crucifix for an exorcism. It will drag out the spirit, the demon, or in this case the electrical hologram man, Horace Pinker. And the vision of Alison after she tells Jonathan this ends with them both falling into his waterbed, as in the waterbed is like open and water splashes up. So another very Nightmare on Elm Street type shot that for the dream. And he wakes up from this dream and he has the necklace. It's at this point for the next upcoming scene where the movie kind of started to lose me a bit. I could deal with the mishmash in tone, but now I just got things which I thought were quite stupid. So
is this the park scene?
Okay. It's a possessed cop. So one of Lieutenant Don's boys.
Yeah.
He's now in the park, but he's possessed by Horace. Yeah. He's got his cop shooter, and he's running through the park chasing Jonathan, and he must let off about 30 shots from 6 yards away, 18 yards away, 24 yards away.
Yeah, but don't forget, Jonathan's a football star. He can run like the wind.
No, because the thing is, he keeps shooting at Jonathan and missing 30 times, and as soon as an extra walks into shot, one shot, they're gone.
And also, it should be noted that the cop's body that he's taken over is not doing too well.
Because
he was shot through the chest or something, wasn't he?
And also, Horace Pinker has a bad knee or a bad ankle or something like that. So whoever he possesses, he'll still be kind of hobbling around. It doesn't mean that
it's like the giveaway thing.
Yeah,
he's taking over the body.
So he's possessed a cop. He also possesses a little girl.
Well, this is the thing. The cop's body gives out. So the next body he takes over is this little girl that we saw cycling on a tripod with like her blonde hair and a pink dress.
Tricycle, yeah.
And so you've got this little kid chasing around again, kind of comedic vibe there.
Yeah, Horace is possessed her, so of course
like Chucky.
Jonathan starts like throttling the little girl with
so the mum
with the mother in pursuit. He's like, why are you doing this to my little girl? And also the little girl gets into like a JCB digger and she tries to turn the key. He's like, come on, you fucker. So
Very Chucky.
Yeah, but the thing is, this scene went on for what seemed like 20 minutes of just running through the park and being shot at.
Because then I think the mum also gets possessed for a bit after the little kid.
Yeah,
and
because he uses the necklace for the first time. He throws the necklace on the girl and all of a sudden we see the hologram of Horace come out of the girl and then jump into the mum and jump into this person and that person. Anybody. Just anybody.
And it's during this whole, I guess it's kind of farcical scene, that the said necklace is chucked by, I've forgotten his name now.
Jonathan.
No.
Horace.
Yeah. What's his second name?
Pinker.
Pinker, that's what we keep calling him. That Pinker chucks the necklace into the middle of this, like, pond, like a big pond in the park. And, so obviously now there's no magical crucifix necklace thing.
Or so we think. But we've got a plan because he's on the football team. He's got his best friend Rhino. He's also got his coach. But not for much longer, because when he goes back home after this park scene, he's now having visions of his coach, and the coach offs himself.
Well, the thing is, so what I found amazing was this.
Because Ghost Allison comes again.
What I found amazing with this was that his teammates and his coach and stuff, they're just lapping up what he's been telling them about this. Like, yeah, cool, we believe you. We're going to help you, what can we do? And he says, well, we need to go back to my place, get my, like, diving equipment, and then go and get the necklace out the pond. And it's whilst they're at his house, I believe, collecting stuff that, I think the other mate had glasses, so not Rhino, but he had another one who's off at the same time as Coach. So yeah, the two of them are both done in, and only Rhino escapes from that situation. So that's sad.
But then we have a whole...
That's sad.
Rhino trying to stick around Jonathan, and Jonathan being like, no, you're my friend. I've already lost too many people. I can't have you hanging around me in case you're off too, Rhino. And then Rhino's like, you said it. I am your friend. And I ain't going to leave your back. You know, they're very... You know, this is the football team. This is the kind of camaraderie you have when you're on a school football team. In fact, when Jonathan is telling his boys about what's going on, they literally have a little... like group get together and was like, are we a team? We're a team.
I was expecting a bit of butt slapping and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
throw
what
a
they
jock
do,
strap
right?
at someone, something like that. Yeah. So now after this stupidity of the coach killing himself and the spectacle guy dying, and another vision of Alison saying you've got to go and swim around in the pond, Lieutenant Don now enters the building, and he takes in his own stepson.
Yeah, well, he's found all these dead bodies, and he's like, well, actually, the only explanation is not that he's psychic, it's that he's the killer. And, but the vision that he has again of his ex Flame when he's trying to get the necklace
Flame
at
on.
night, all of a sudden he's like scared of her, which I found a bit strange.
Yeah, again, tone and logic all over the place here. And we said Lieutenant Don has taken in his own stepson, but as they get into the car, it's not Lieutenant Don. The whole time it's been Horace Pinker. But don't worry, Rhino comes to the rescue again because he hasn't left his back. And now we get Heavy Metal Pursuit. Long Heavy Metal Pursuit. And once again, we've got Horace, and whoever he's possessing this time, I said Lieutenant Don, just pew, 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 shooting up about another 40 bullets trying to shoot Jonathan. He can't get him, but every time an extra runs in the way, bang, one shot, they are gone. So if you're an extra in this, you're not going to survive. If you're Jonathan, you have about 70 to 80 bullet shots at you from close range, and you're going to evade it. Yeah. So now Jonathan... You know, this is another like chase scene. They end up on like a satellite dish or something, didn't they?
Yeah, so Jonathan has actually told Rhino to gather the boys together and given them sort of like a mission to accomplish by at an exact time.
This is when we get we're a team, right? Right.
Yeah, so whilst he is off on some like a tall aerial thing being chased by Don.
Let's call it satellite, yeah.
Yeah. The rest of the team...
I'm a bit of cable guy.
Yeah, the rest of the team have gone and broken into like the power station for the whole town.
No, this is... No, before this.
Oh, sorry.
When, so we can shoot. So Jonathan Reyes' troops were a team, right? They go to the lake. Scary Allison is in there. Mm-hmm. Scary Allison's in the lake.
Yeah, I thought we were past this point already.
No, we now have the possessed... Once Jonathan and his dad are kind of like made up on the satellite.
Right.
After all that, the next thing I've got, because it goes on for a bit then, is the possessed Vibrachair. Known as a vibrating chair, which Jonathan sits in.
Chair.
His massage chair.
When you call it that, it sounds really weird, Johnny. It's a massage chair.
Well, I would have released it as the Vibrachair.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, you didn't say
luxurious.
that basically the way that he escaped the thing when Don was chasing him was that he kept telling Don to, like, fight it.
Yeah, I wanted to leave that out because it's so cliched. All of these chase scenes went on for so long. I was like, why do we keep getting chase scenes in the supposed horror movie, which aren't just one guy stalking slowly? Instead, it's just bang, 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 bang. Didn't like it, but I did like the possessed Vibrachair. And so Jonathan's sitting in his chair trying to relax. He leans back. All of a sudden, the chair arms come to life and wrap him round.
Yeah.
And two comical pairs of eyes open up in the chair as well. It looks a bit like the Michelin Man.
No, do you know what I was thinking? In Impractical Jokers, I think, isn't there a punishment where one of them has to dress up as a massage chair? Yeah.
Yeah, with hands. What he escapes the Vibrachair, the possessed alive Vibrachair, but Horace Pinker is here again, and he says the immortal line, "Let's take a ride in my Volkswagen." Get it?
No.
Volkswagen, and he's electric, so he's called it a Volkswagen. There you go. And then we're kind of like at the end now, almost.
Okay.
Because after the Vibrachair, after the "Let's get into my Volkswagen," Jonathan cries out, "Allison, if you can hear me, give me power." Something like this. Give me the power to do this. So he then jumps into the television. Jonathan jumps into the television and Horace Pinker runs after him. Now we have a sequence that's kind of just left me speechless.
I loved it.
Not for this type of movie, though.
I loved it. So yeah, they're both in the television world, whatever that might be. And in this film, it means that whilst people are sat at home watching whatever program they might be happening to watch,
sitcoms, movies, news,
documentaries, all of this stuff, the two of them are just kind of appearing on screen.
And when people use the remote, it kind of like controls one of them. You'll like rewind someone.
It's trippy. It's funny. You clearly don't think it fits, but
it doesn't fit. Nothing in this movie fits together.
But that kind of works then, doesn't it?
So he jumps into the TV.
I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was really funny.
I thought the jumping in the TV, the way that it was done was reminiscent of, we've already mentioned it a few times in Practical Jokers, Q's Diabolical video. That's what it was reminding me of.
But this whole thing has that 80s... I can't think of the word right now, but like that 80s weirdness, like anything goes kind of... Yeah, not taking itself seriously.
This is a completely incoherent movie. I don't really know what... And like I said, I was expecting something kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I wasn't expecting something really just silly.
But it is at this point, whilst they're doing their TV channel jumping. So yeah, what I mentioned earlier with the football guys being at the power grid, and they've got a certain time that they've been told to shut down the entire city supply of power. So obviously Jonathan's planned this. And we also... Is this the first time we find out that the reason Pinker is so sort of interested in Jonathan is because I'm your father? Yeah.
And he keeps baiting him about when Jonathan was a youngster and kind of like bashing his knees trying to save his mother and stuff like this.
Yeah, that's it. Pinker was like, oh yeah, I'd beat your mother up and you try and get in the way and then I'd beat you up. And just adding to his list of why he's such a nice guy.
Rhino, as you know, the wingman, he does come through in the clutch, as they say in American sports, and he has the assist of killing Horace Pinker by doing the right thing and turning the electricity off.
But not before
at
we're left
the right time.
right on edge, because of course we don't actually think that Jonathan's going to get out of the TV world either before the powers, cuts him off. But he does.
Yeah, he does.
He makes it out.
And then it's over, and we have metal credits, more from Desmond Child. I am the sword, you are the stone by Bonfire. That was a nice ending, I thought. But I didn't. I won't be watching this movie, and I thought it dragged on.
What?
It really dragged on for about 25 minutes too long. It's almost 2 hours long, this film. Way too long. Like I said, all the chase scenes could have been, especially that chase scene in the park, just went on forever. And I guess I didn't know what to expect somewhat, apart from a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but like I said, I just got silly, and anything which is horror was also kind of silly. What did you think of Mitch Pileggi as Horace Pinker? What did you think of Horace Pinker? I didn't really enjoy Horace, if I'm honest.
No. I don't think there was really anything about this film that I didn't like. I really enjoyed it.
It's your favourite Wes Craven movie of all time.
I can see how it's maybe not very horrifying despite all the story of deaths and stuff. I can accept that, but I loved how bizarro it was, and
maybe watching it a second time, knowing that I'm not going to get any horror, maybe I'll just be able to laugh at it all, because it's just more of a funny movie than anything. But also the funniest part was the beginning for me as well.
To me, it really was. It was kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street, Cable Guy, a bit of the Killer Clowns bizarreness, just. Yeah. But
nowhere near as good as any of those films. It's not even close to Nightmare on Elm Street. It's nothing like Nightmare on Elm Street, really. It just has those slight dreamy elements.
It hasn't got the seriousness.
No, it doesn't have anything like that. It doesn't have it. No. In a weird way, you could say
I liked it.
This could almost be a companion piece to Nightmare on Elm Street, even though it's just almost completely different, and
I don't
the
know.
quality
I think
is not there.
You can tell it's a lot sillier. Even the fact that Nightmare on Elm Street, it's like the dream world reality, whereas this, he lives on through TV, kind of says it all, doesn't it?
You got it, baby! Yeah, TV lips come into life. I wasn't ready for that either.
So yeah.
I'll put this saying that though, this, like I said, this was number one for me most of the week. I just flipped it, in the last couple of days.
I'm surprised. I would have thought that the one we're going to discuss now would have just been your number one from the start, because there are some one-liners from this which, you loved. And I feel like this film made you proud to be British.
Let's just skip back. Horace Pinker. Shocker. Is that 2 in the Pinker, 1 in the Stinker?
That literally makes no sense.
The Shocker.
That is the biggest stretch you've ever tried for, Johnny. That's ridiculous.
So you're saying Steel Panther haven't got it from this film?
That'd be like saying 2 in the Pinker and 1 in the Horace. It makes no sense, Johnny.
It does make sense.
No.
Pinker rhymes with stinker. That's called the Shocker.
No. Let's move on. So let's move
on to Fright. My number 1, your number 2. Fright from 1971, directed by Peter Colliton, who did You're Only Supposed to Blow the Bloody Doors Off, his Italian Job, starring the one and only Michael Caine. And it also has...
I enjoyed this film as well.
Yeah, we've got a main character called Amanda, who's the babysitter. We have a couple called Jim and Helen. Helen is played by Honor Blackman, who was the one and only Pussy Galore. Yeah, and so where would you like to start with this one? I didn't know it was British when we started it either.
No, it's very 70s.
Yes, and very
British.
British.
Very British. So this girl Amanda turns up in a very inappropriate outfit, in my opinion, for babysitting.
This is 1971. This is when we were a proper country, and you come to babysit dressed like Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
That's what I was about to say. It was very Daphne-esque. So she's come to babysit this couple who looked way too old to have a baby. Apparently have a baby
Jim
boy.
And Helen.
And it's kind of a strange introduction of the characters, and we keep getting this thing between Jim and Helen of like, oh, does she know, and oh, I wish you hadn't said the house was haunted, oh, but I was only joking, and would you have some sherry, and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, she's there. The couple eventually do go off to their
You're
dinner
just going to
plans.
speed through the whole thing. So let's...
Well, I just thought none of that is particularly important. Or
There's
interesting, is
there's
it?
loads of important stuff here, which you're just glazing over. Let's just get into the technicalities of it at first.
Great.
Looks great. Looks fantastic. Camera work, absolutely fantastic. When they're interviewing, not so much interviewing Amanda, but kind of introducing themselves to Amanda, and like you mentioned, they ask her, "Would you like a sherry?" This is when we were a proper country. None of this, no drinking when you looking after my young son or daughter. Is it true or not? It's best to smoke up before babysitting.
You're crazy.
To take the edge off. So this is proper. Would you like a sherry while you're minding
Ooh, yes,
our
please, I'd love one.
son? And of course she wants a sherry. She is having a sherry. Helen's pouring herself a sherry. Jim's having a sherry. Everybody's having a sherry because this is England. This is 71.
Sorry, guys, I glossed over
We're
that.
going
I
to do it
can't believe
properly.
I didn't mention that.
Like you mentioned,
Fascinating detail.
Helen is worried, and we've got to wonder what is she worried about? And so much so that Jim says, "Yes, come on, worry guts," and gets her out the house because she doesn't want Helen freaking out Amanda any more than she might have already done. But you can't freak out Amanda because she's a new woman. She's in college. She's doing psychology. She schools Jim, doesn't he? Oh, what are you doing? Waiting to become a homemaker. She's like, "No, actually, I'm doing psychology."
Child psychology.
Child psychology. Here I am babysitting. So Jim manages to finally get Helen out of the house because they're going for a celebration, they say. But a celebration of what?
And again, Amanda's like, "Oh, an anniversary," and they're like, "Not exactly." But it kind of is.
It is an anniversary, and whilst we kind of the movie flits between Amanda in the house at this point, and then Jim and Helen either driving to the pub where they're going, and being in the pub with their friend Dr. Cordrell, I believe his name was. So while they're driving, and you got Jim kind of like, or Helen saying, "Do you think she knows?" They're still worried, even after a quick shot of sherry and all that, and they're kind of funny about leaving Amanda at the house alone.
Yeah, that's
at
kind of what
night
I was mentioning
on
about
this anniversary.
Yeah.
And Jim's like, "Oh, come on, I thought we were supposed to be celebrating," as they're driving through the country lane. And as we say, we're flitting back and forth. So Amanda's in the house, and she starts dancing with something.
Yeah, teddy bear.
Teddy bear.
That was bizarre.
Dances with
Yeah,
a teddy bear.
she finds quite a big stuffed teddy bear, and she starts like almost a quite sensual dance with it. It was very, very strange.
And of course, she's been introduced to the young child that she will be minding. And this child makes some very strange, irregular noises.
The child makes, I don't think that was even supposed to be like part of the story or anything. It's just making really weird like growling noises.
The child's like 3 or 4 years old.
He looks quite angelic. He's a little, angelic little boy. But yeah, he makes some weird noises.
While she's dancing around the house with this bear, we now get some tension because we start getting like house sounds. We get the dong of like scary clocks, and there's the dripping of a tap.
Yeah.
And there's also a clothesline outside, which is
which at first she gets
going
freaked
around.
out by, and she goes
Yeah.
to look, and so she is on edge.
The lights
And
go out as well.
The lights go out, and she also thinks that she sees a face through the window.
Someone's stalking around outside the house.
Creepy.
And as the tension builds, it just turns out it's the little kid. He's gotten out of bed and he wants a story. He was probably like, "Story." These are the noises that he's making, isn't it? So he gets his story. And like I said, there's a man at the window, which she's noticed. But she now confronts the man at the window. And she's like, "Who is it?"
It's not when the door's knocking.
It's
though.
me.
Yeah.
Oi oi, which is the literal dialogue, because enter Dennis Waterman as "It's me, Chris. I want to see you." Man's like, "No, I don't want to see you." He's like, "Oh, come on, let me in. Oi oi."
He's really punching as well, might I add? Cause
He's not punching yet.
She's quite attractive.
He's not punching yet. He's trying to get himself into the house, and with that come on, he manages to get himself into the house. So now we know that Jim is Sorry, not Jim. Chris is now in the house with Amanda. We flip back to the bar. We're now back with Jim and Helen, and they're at the bar, and Jim's like, she'll have a G&T and I'll have a scotch. Now, he's already had a sherry, so they've driven to the pub, so I've got to hope this is a really good driving scotch. And like I say, this is when we were a proper country. The man is ordering the lady's drink, and he's not faffing about having, like, you know, some kind of alcopop. I'll have scotch.
Yes, but also it's the 70s and they're in like a little village by the looks and sounds, what they say and stuff. Everyone knows everyone's business. And I mean, I literally don't think there's even any street lights heading up to their house. So I really highly doubt that there will be any policemen out there doing, you know, DUI checks.
Listen, no street lights, no CCTV, sherry for a babysitting job, sherry for a drive. This is when we were a proper country. So after this, we've now flipped back. Chris, aka Dennis Waterman, has gone into the house with Amanda, and he's straight at it. He's like, you can't stay a virgin all your life. And she's like, how do you know I'm not a virgin? And he's like, well, if you're not a virgin, then what's the big deal? And if you are, well, tonight's your lucky night. And what woman wouldn't fall for that? But she's still resisting. She says, no, if you're going to stay, we're just going to talk. He was like, fine, we'll just talk then. So they sit themselves down on a couch, sit there for about 2 seconds, and he's like,
John's favourite line.
you got a lovely pair of Bristols. And for anyone not from England or not familiar with rhyming slam, Bristols is referring to Bristol City, aka titty. So if he's going to talk, he's going to talk about breasts, specifically Amanda's breasts.
And also,
he's trying to get a look at, because you know this is proper chat up lines. This is when we were a proper.
Oh my god! How many times are you going to say that? You said it 100 times during the film. You said it 100 times after the film, and now you're saying it 100 times during the review.
You know, don't even look me in the eyes, because I'll feel. You know, she's had a quick pat on the bum as well while he walked in too. He's not even her boyfriend.
Well, but clearly, this is what I was literally about to say when you said this was a proper country. Is that they clearly have some kind of history. Yes, they might not have slept together. They might not even have kissed. But he thinks
she's a virgin, so of course they haven't slept together.
I just said that. But he's clearly tried it on with her before, because she is straight from the outset very much on the defensive with him. In that kind of slightly flirty way, just like, well, yes, I do have lovely titties, but no, we shall not sleep together. We can only talk.
He's right. She's like, yes, like you said, I do have wonderful Bristols.
Yeah, not in those words, but she is very much that type. And lo and behold, doesn't actually take long before he is getting to second base.
He starts telling horror stories. He's like, oh, did you hear that Jim and Helen, they're not even really married. Her real husband is some bloke called Brian. So we've got like, oh, who's Brian?
So he's not actually telling horror stories, he's telling her the truth.
Telling the truth, but it's also a horror story, because he's not just talking about them, he's also talking about other things. Because she says, oh, I know it was you stalking around the house. He's like, what? I wasn't stalking around the house, I just came to the door, knocked, and you let me in. So clearly there's someone else out there. So she accuses him of just trying to frighten her. And she also accuses him of peeping. Yeah, a bit of peeping.
Well, I wouldn't put either of those things past him, so she's not wrong.
Yeah, but he's scared her enough that now he is starting to get lucky, and the old Bristols are on show. Not fully, but we've got, you know, it's undone. The blouse is undone a bit, and she's showing off the goods, and his you know, his continued has paid off. It's paid off, because now they're getting it on. But
then they're interrupted because there's a phone call from the pub restaurant. Yeah, is this the point yet? By the way, when you know, the place was happening.
No.
Oh, I love that bit.
Just wait, I'll introduce moments.
Jeez, you're so defensive of this. So yeah, there's a phone call. Helen is checking in that everything's all right, and Amanda's answered,
at the behest of Dr. Cordell.
But she gets very annoyed at Chris, because Chris just can't
can't stop
shut
cracking
up.
jokes. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
had one
he's
too
literally
joke
ruined
too
it for
many.
himself, hasn't
yeah.
he?
He's
was
cracked one joke too many.
there. He was getting what he wanted, and then he just couldn't help himself. And
She chucks him out.
Yeah, she's had enough.
Yeah.
And don't even try coming back.
Yeah, and once he leaves, we hear the child roar again. I don't know what that child's been doing. I don't know what anyone's thinking about. What
Growling
noises
baby.
can we have this baby making? Because it's not making a growling noise for any noise. So she's chucked out, and she starts kind of modelling in the mirror herself, still with her Bristols out, as I like to call it. But Chris hasn't gone far. He's just in the bushes outside.
Yeah, well, he can see the reflection of her checking herself out as well.
So
and he likes it.
While he now is peeping, unfortunately for him, the geezer that he's mentioned, who is the real husband of Helen, Brian, is out there.
So if it isn't clear by now, the reason that Helen was a bit anxious is because her ex-husband, the father of the baby, is a psychopath who's been locked away. But yeah, she doesn't know how well locked away.
And now Chris in the bushes has been attacked. So he's been peeping. He's been done for peeping, basically. It's the kind of horror movie rules. You don't get to peep and get away with it.
Well, unless it's, only I get to peep. There's only space for one peeper in this film, so I'm going to do you in now, because I've been peeping.
Then we quickly flip back to the restaurant, the Red Restaurant, and everybody's smoking inside while having a nice beverage, because this is when we were a proper country and you could smoke in establishments like the pub. So now we get a nice horror movie touch. We go back to the house, and Amanda is watching a horror movie in a horror movie, much like we get in Scream, much like we get in Halloween H2O, much we get in Halloween 3, a whole bunch of movies where you watch a horror movie in a horror movie. So this could possibly be the first time that happened. It was 1971, so that'd be nice to know. There's now someone else at the door.
Well, hang on.
But it's not Chris.
Really?
Yes, really, because he's been attacked.
Go on then.
So who's at the door? Brian. Brian's at the door. Amanda unwittingly lets Brian, the father of the roaring child, ex-husband of Helen, who's been locked away in a nut house, she lets him into the house. And we flip back to the pub, to the bit that you were going to refer to. Everyone's cutting loose to some freaky organ.
This pub is happening.
And the dancing was top-notch stuff.
Fantastic.
As well. Because
loved it.
Everyone's cutting loose to organ, everyone's drinking scotch and sherry and driving home, everyone's smoking indoors, everyone's giving copious amounts of booze to the babysitter, saying just help yourself, because this is when we were a proper country. So let's move on. Everyone's cutting loose at the bar, and also everyone's now on the coffee and the brandy. Everyone's on the coffee and the brandies, because you could do that then. If you went for a coffee and a brandy these days, we're going to set you back like £15 a pop. Because coffee alone is like £6. It's bloody water and some beans. £6, please. Thank you, bearded, ponytailed barista.
Getting back to the film, Amanda at one point also does try to phone the pub restaurant place and get in touch, but she's pretty much instantly cut off. The phone line dies.
Yeah, and while we're at the pub, Dr. Cordell, he's had to cut short the freaky organ dancing and cut short the brandies and coffees, because he's had it on good authority that Brian, on this anniversary, has escaped said nut house. So now they decide, we got to leave. So it turns out Brian, back in the day, tried to gas himself and the baby and strangle Helen. So don't want to be around when he's about.
Back at the house, we've still got Brian pretending to be a concerned neighbour.
Mm-hmm.
And who should stumble in the door but the very, very battered
and bloodied
Chris, right?
Dennis Waterman.
Yeah, and of course Brian is still pretending to be very helpful, and we know he's not. And he's basically like, nah, he's a goner. There's no saving him. Sorry, love.
Yeah, while they've got the information at the pub, obviously now Jim and Helen are back in their car. Jim's had his driving scotch and his driving brandy and his driving sherry, so he's trying to get back to the house of Helen in there. They get momentarily knocked off the road for a bit, but it's all right. They survive. And Dr. Cordell has decided he's going to go to the police station.
Yeah.
Now, when we get into the police station...
Get some professional backup.
When we get into the police station, Dr. Cordell's explaining what's happened. So, you know, copper number 1, he's there. And like I say, Corin, I'll tell you again, this is when we were a proper country. So the cops hear what's happened. So the copper says, look, get a gun, bring our ammo, and our best shooter.
Well, you say that, but actually... It was, again, farcical how rubbish these coppers were painted to be, because at first the doctor couldn't even get to the main guy because he was like, well, you'll have to fill out this paperwork first, and it's, you know, it goes much faster. And then
it's still the police.
No one believes anything, and it's not until they get a call from the actual mental asylum that they're like, oh, I suppose the doctor was telling the truth. Yes, let's get out there. Because really, they were bloody useless.
All I'm saying is...
I don't know why you decided to skim over that.
The policeman...
To me, it shows that the police have always been useless.
I wasn't finishing my thoughts. I wasn't going to say any of that. What I was going to say was, like I say, when we were a proper country, so the copper is like, get a gun, get the ammo, and our best shooter. Nowadays, it would be like, bring a smartphone, let's remember our best TikTok dance, and bring along our most fabulous rainbow car. That's what would happen now with the cops. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do our TikTok dance. They're going to get to the bottom of this. Finally, we can kind of skip towards the end of the movie now, because once they arrive, everyone arrives outside the house.
Helen and Thingy's car, Jim, their car breaks down, for one thing.
I already mentioned that. It's run off the road. But it lands all right for them. They get to the house. It's completely unimportant, by the way. They get to the house. Dr. Cordell arrives with the police, and now we're at a standoff outside the house and inside the house.
You've also missed a bit that, if I've understood it...
No, I haven't missed it, because I was about to bring it up, but go.
But I thought this was before they all arrive.
As I said, it doesn't matter, because we skip to the end. While this is all happening, previously in the house, Brian seems to have had his way with Amanda. What?
No, well, okay, yeah. I love that you give details that I don't seem like to understand why they matter, and then this, you're just like, yeah, that's happened. So obviously, after a while, Amanda starts to realise that Brian's, you know, not who she thought he was.
Finally.
And he's starting to refer to her as Helen as well, who he, you know, supposedly loved, but tried to off.
Vision of his wife.
And Amanda is very concerned about the safety of the baby at this point also. And when they're up in the baby's room, I believe it is, this guy decides he wants to sleep with his wife, which of course is Amanda.
Have you purposely started to try speaking like the likes of Amanda and Helen in the movie? Because all of a sudden this part, you've started to describe it a bit like this.
I didn't do it on purpose, but no. So yeah, it's very...
I think you've got a wonderful pair of Bristols, Kai.
It's very ungraphic. You don't even really see that much fear in her face growing, like building up to it. You kind of see what you think is going to happen, and the next thing you see is Brian asleep on some other part of the room, and she's got a little bit of tearing in her tights. So,
I thought it was a weird thing to throw in there.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird thing, but I think it was more strange the way that it was filmed and then the reaction to it, because...
It's almost like an afterthought.
Yeah, it's really, if it is what is insinuated...
It is, I think it definitely is.
Yeah, I don't know, because her reaction was so muted that I just...
Well, it's 71. People just get on with it.
Because I was just thinking, like, that's obviously then the most horrific thing that actually happens throughout the story, but it's so underwhelming the way that they do it. Yeah. So she just, you know, wakes up after this, and
I think it's more that Brian thinks he's having sex with his wife at this point, isn't it? He thinks he's seeing Helen.
Yeah, showing how crazy, and also, I guess, Amanda trying to survive by just kind of playing along with it to an extent, I suppose. But yeah, like I said, I feel like this really is such a horrific thing that's happened, and it's just not painted enough in that way. Yeah, and I didn't even really... I was like, no, I must have misunderstood right until the end of the film when... Well, we'll get there in a second.
This is pretty much the end. So there's, as I said, there's a standoff. The police are outside. You've got a guy with like a megaphone trying to talk to Brian inside, and Brian says he'll only come outside or do as they say if he can talk to Helen, and try and get her into the house. While they're doing all this, Amanda's got the baby the whole time, pretty much.
He's not growling at the moment.
She manages to get outside eventually, even though Helen does come into the house. She also manages to get outside as well after kind of like bargaining with Brian.
It's all very threatening though. Like he's clearly deranged, and a couple of times he's holding like bits of shards of glass and stuff to her throat, or even like around the baby. All in the bid to get Helen in.
With all of this, you're saying, like you say, he's holding shards of glass up to people and things like this. But I just didn't. Brian was not a threatening character in a way. I don't think he was written or maybe performed very well.
Well, he was just deranged, wasn't he? But I also feel like the performance from Amanda could have been different in the sense of... I'm not saying she was a bad actress or anything, that's not my thing, but there was still just a lack of like real terror and
even though she was just
pain.
Constantly screaming at points in the movie, which is also very annoying.
But yeah, so eventually, after again, like Helen, when she goes in, brings something the police have given her, which is like, I think, a sleeping gas bomb thing to set off. Obviously, everything kind of goes wrong. Brian's pissed off that like, how could you do me like this? And in the end, they're all outside, and yet again, we've got just police incompetence in so many ways. And Brian's got Babby at this point again. Police incompetence
in this and in Shocker.
Yeah, just terrible. And in the end, it's Amanda who takes her revenge.
Amanda blows him away.
She blows him away. And this is when we see little flashes of, like, for example, the ape ray bit and, you know, whatever else she's been through that evening. I think Chris as well was part of it, you know, his death, and it kind of ends on that. And you do see, that's probably for me the best part of her performance, because you can see like she's obviously really shocked at herself for having taken someone's life as much as she thinks he deserved it or whatever. But
she also she slices his face a little bit before the shooting as well. So there's some violence. And yeah, this was eventually my number one. But again, not one I'd watch again unless I was looking for a few chat-up lines and things of that nature. And to reminisce about when we were a proper country, you know, unlike now.
Maybe you should just find some other British films from, you know, 60s and 70s and enjoy that time.
Maybe I should check out Helen as Pussy Galore. I'm sure that would have the same kind of tone.
Actually, yeah. Have you seen many of the black and white James Bond movies? 'Cause...
How many black and white James Bond movies are there?
All right, well, older ones.
Are any of them in black and white? I don't think they are.
Okay, how many of the old ones have you seen? So pedantic.
You know, I haven't seen any of them.
Well, I reckon you'd probably love them, wouldn't you?
Yeah, most likely. It's all seemed to go on for quite a while as well. So yeah, Fright from 1971 was my number one. But again, not for horror reasons so much, and a bit like there's a lack of horror in all three of these movies. I find in a way.
Again, it was kind of more like comedy stuff
Fright
than
was
anything.
Quite original. You know, this is pre-modern day slasher, post-modern slasher, and yeah, it kind of like stands alone as almost like a relic where it still has original things in it, like a character watching a horror movie in a horror movie, for instance. I did enjoy that.
I did enjoy it.
Yeah, but really, I personally wouldn't be like, oh yeah, you have to watch this movie, or for any of these films. You seem like you are for Shocker.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch that again. I'll have to watch it without you, clearly, because you're not that enamoured.
I said if I watch it again, I can just laugh at it.
And for Fright, I definitely feel like, again, getting all the like funny British things that are said is what made it.
Come on, worry guts.
Yeah, so again, I feel like if you're an American watching this, like, you won't even know what he's saying when he said, lovely pair of Bristols. They'll be like, what's that? What's a Bristol?
You didn't know what a lovely pair of Bristols were either. I had to...
Well, no, I knew what he was referring to. It was pretty obvious.
You knew what he was referring to, but you didn't know what
Bristol
reference
City.
of Bristol
No, well,
was, no.
I've never spoken any Cockney. I'm not actually British, am I? So
You started to sound it as parts of that review there.